It's another WRAL weather alert day, a level 3 risk for severe storms. It's pretty rare for our area. I'll have the timeline and the threats we could face coming up.
DMV reform. This morning, the new commissioner laid out his plan of action, how he is looking to turn around that agency.
And abuse charge. A daycare worker is out of a job. What warrants reveal about that incident?
And we start off this note with a live look right here, downtown Cary Park. Boy, you wouldn't know it from this view. The WRAL live camera network here showing us some puffy clouds, blue skies. Parts of our viewing area, though, under a rare level 3 risk for today. That is our topic here at noon. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey in for Renee Chu. Thanks for joining us. Meteorologist Amy Wilmoth is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with when these storms begin to arrive and the threats that we face, Amy.
We still have a few hours to go before these storms get here. They won't enter our western counties until around 4 o'clock or so. But here's the setup. We have a strong cold front that moves through right during the evening commute. We have a warm front that's already lifted to the north of the area. So we have a warm, very muggy atmosphere. And I don't like seeing the sunshine that we're seeing. We just saw it in the Cary camera, and you're going to see it in the Chapel Hill camera in just a moment. That's going to help to destabilize the atmosphere even more. So I just kind of wish we had more cloud cover out there right now. The radar is quiet right now. Again, we have some hours before it gets here. We will have multiple meteorologists on staff because it's a pretty big deal to get a level 3 risk for our area, most of the area in that risk. And we only average 3 per year when looking at the past 5 years. Warnings are issued 82% of the time. This has resulted in damage 87% of the time that we have a level 3 risk when looking at the last 5 years. We have damaging winds, large hail, and isolated tornadoes that will be possible today. So it's a big deal. Get the WRAL weather app. We've made some huge improvements. Make sure to go into the settings and turn on the alerts so that you can get the warnings for your area right when they're issued. Here's a look at the timeline. Western counties, you'll get the storms first between 3, probably more closer to 4 or 5 o'clock this evening. The center part of our viewing area, it's 5 to 7 p.m. And then it's our eastern counties at 6 to 8 p.m. We'll start to see things wind down after 8 o'clock this evening. But it is going to be very rough for the evening commute. This is that Chapel Hill camera I was talking about, seeing the sunshine there. Again, that's going to help destabilize the atmosphere. We'll take a look at this hour by hour with Futurecast coming up in just a bit.
All right, Amy, thank you. And you can plan ahead for severe weather with the WRAL News app. It allows you to watch radar in real time to see when storms are in your area. Be sure you have the WRAL News app installed on your phone. Turn on alerts to get notified about severe weather in your location. It is free wherever you download your apps.
It's a new day for the North Carolina Department of Motor Vehicles. We are hearing from the new commissioner for the first time. He is laying out his plans to tackle those troubling wait times people are facing all across our state. WRAL's Sean Gallagher joins us now. Sean, what did the new commissioner have to say today?
Yeah, well, the governor, the DOT secretary, and the DMV commissioner all really dove in the deep end today, arriving here at this location and seeing this, a long line that you see really all across the state and things that we've been reporting on for years, these issues at DMVs, and the commissioner hopes to fix all that. Governor Josh Stein, DOT Secretary Joey Hawkins, and new DMV Commissioner Paul Tyne took about 15 minutes to talk to a number of people waiting in line this morning. A first-hand look at Tyne's key approach in taking over, listening and responding to feedback from people. And he got that today with a line of people out the door here at the Raleigh East location. His focus is to create a premier customer service organization, both large scale, like changing systems and software that could take years to implement, but also smaller scale fixes like having faster scanning machines that could make a big improvement on wait times.
We have 500 or so folks out there in the field. Times every time they do a document, times every time they do multiple documents, uploads. That's hours, that's days of people moving through our system.
Tyne also announced the launch of a new website, ncdmv.gov, a place he hopes will help people actually get these services done, not just a site to get information on what you need before you go. But what does success look like and when? That's a big question I had for Governor Stein. He says it could be months before we start seeing these impacts and can start judging how effective they are. But ultimately, the big benchmark is wait times. In Raleigh, Sean Gallagher, WRAL News.
Leaders in Apex will celebrate the opening of the new EMS station this afternoon. The Apex main EMS was built to replace an existing station on Highway 55. The new station is located on Apex Barbecue Road. Leaders from Wake County and the town of Apex will speak on that new addition. And the ribbon cutting today will happen at 3 p.m. There'll be a shuttle provided at Apex Nature Park to get there.
Durham police are investigating after 3 people were shot early this morning on Romont Drive. They're also investigating another shooting that happened 10 minutes away on Crest Street. WRAL's Monica Casey is live at that scene in North Durham. Monica, this happened just after 12 o'clock this morning. What else do we know about this?
Yeah, Michelle, the people who called 911 told police they heard shots fired here in this area of Romont Drive, and Durham police got here just after midnight. Now, the scene is clear, but I want you to take a look behind me here. This public works employee with the city just finished sweeping up the broken glass from that car. When police arrived here on scene right next to Whippoorwill Park, they found that car with 3 people shot inside. Police say the man in the car died at the hospital, and both women who were in the car have serious injuries. Now, all of this right near Whippoorwill Park here in North Durham, a popular place for families. Residents tell us they are shaken up.
We're close to a park. I mean, literally, the park is no more than 5 feet away from this crime scene. This is insane. Literally, we got little kids, a lot of little kids that stay in the neighborhood. And again, I mean, such a friendly neighborhood. I mean, it's just truly shocking to see that this is occurring here.
Also today, police were called to another scene on Crest Street that's down near Duke Hospital. In that case, police say they arrived just before 6:30 this morning because a woman woke up and realized she had been shot. You can see the bullet holes in these photos of that scene given to us by residents there. People in that home said they heard the gunshots hours earlier. Police tell us in that case, that shooting victim's injuries are considered minor. Now, right now, there are no arrests in either of these cases. We will keep you updated. Live in Durham, Monica Casey, WRAL News.
And new at noon, we are hearing from a child care center for the first time after one of their employees was charged with abusing a 2-year-old child. The woman worked at Creative Kids Academy, and WRAL's Noah Klein is here now. Noah, investigators say she bit the kid?
Yeah, Jeff, this is the warrant. We want to give it to you. It's for a misdemeanor child abuse charge. The docs, they say the physical injury was inflicted, caused bruising from a human bite. Deputies arrested 31-year-old Kayla Drakeford-Willia yesterday. They were called to that child care academy last week for a report of child abuse. She has since been fired from Creative Kids Academy. Here's part of that statement from the academy. Quote, "There were no injuries in our care or threat to any persons. Policies and procedures were not upheld by the previous employee, and their employment has been terminated." WRAL's Flynn Snyder is working on this story for us today. We're going to figure out exactly what happened here. Look for his reports throughout the day on WRAL.com and on our evening news beginning at 4 o'clock.
We'll do that, Noah. Thanks. Police are searching for a possible arsonist after numerous vehicles were burned in a parking lot. Just after 3 this morning, 9 vehicles were burned in that Wake Forest parking lot. It happened on Grandmark Street near Capcom Avenue. No word on any suspects at this time.
New reaction as the head of a Raleigh church admitted to using $400,000 in COVID-19 relief loans for personal use. Word of God pastor Mitchell Summerfield admitted to falsifying applications for pandemic-era government loans. Court records show the recovery loans were for businesses Smithfield owns outside of the church. He pleaded guilty to using the money for personal gain, not towards business expenses or paychecks. Former U.S. Attorney Michael Easley Jr. explains why many fraudulent relief applications were approved during the pandemic.
There's a delicate balance between how we safeguard the American taxpayer's dollar, but also try to get that money out and in the hands of the people who need it before our economy faced a tremendous tailspin.
Pastor Summerfield has not faced sentencing yet. He faces a maximum sentence of 30 years in prison and a $1 million fine and at least 5 years of supervised release.
Within the next 30 minutes, we expect to learn who will replace retired Fayetteville Police Chief Ken Braden. City Manager Doug Hewitt will make the announcement at Fayetteville City Hall, and as soon as that happens, we will bring it to you live during this broadcast if it happens here at noon. Braden retired after 2 years as Chief of Police, and Assistant Fayetteville Police Chief Todd Joyce has been serving as interim chief. Take a look at stocks this noon. Close out the trading week right now. Dow Jones Industrial Average started in negative territory, found its way into positive for a bit. It's been up and down, so a mixed bag here on this Friday. A lot of news out there in the business world that's affecting these, but really relatively unchanged is where we sit right now, down 10 points.
Happening now at the WRAL Live Center, we're following some breaking news right now at Hillside High School in Durham. We pulled it up on Google Maps, and here's what we're being told by a spokesperson with the district, that Hillside High School is on lockdown right now because of a carjacking that happened across the street from the school as a precaution. Of course, law enforcement personnel are at that scene right now investigating that carjacking. But for right now, we're being told that Hillside High School is on lockdown. Everybody is inside that building and are safe. We'll continue to monitor this situation for any new developments during this newscast.
All right, Ken, thank you. The season is over, but the story goes on. The Hurricanes holding exit interviews today with players. A good chance to reflect on the season and get insight into any injuries. Defenseman Jalen Chatfield revealed that he was dealing with a hip injury, says he was close to returning and doesn't expect any off-season surgery. As far as taking the next step and winning the Cup, Captain Jordan Stahl feels like they're really close.
It's just been obviously a little frustrating right now, and just trying to unpack what happened the last month or so, and then all season long. But there's obviously you want to be in these situations. You want to be in playoffs. You want to have a chance at all the things. It's just not easy to win, and we'd love for it to be easy. But I think, like you said, there's opportunity to always get better, and the group we have and how it played out this year, we have a great opportunity to take the next step.
Oh, they have so much to be proud of. The Canes season came to a crushing end, though, in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Final to the Florida Panthers.
You hear the disappointment there because they blew through the first round, two rounds of the playoffs, and then just got dumped right there.
Well, the Panthers are tough.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Next at noon, revoking Chinese student visas, how the U.S. State Department plans to do that, and how many people would be affected.
Also, a new ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas. What's included in the proposal?
Plus, updates after errors. The Trump administration says changes are coming after mistakes were made in the Make America Healthy Again report.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.
The United States will not tolerate exploitation of American universities by the Chinese Communist Party. That's the word from the U.S. State Department. The agency plans to revoke visas for Chinese students, but it's not clear how many would be affected. NBC's Janice Mackey-Freyer reports from Beijing.
For years, the U.S. opened its doors to international students, many of them from China. They generated revenue for universities with higher fees and contributed billions to the U.S. economy with spending on rent, restaurants, and travel. Now the Trump administration appears intent on closing those doors. The State Department said it's aggressively revoking visas for Chinese students in the U.S. and all but preventing students from getting new visas, including those with connections to the Chinese Communist Party and studying in critical fields. The policy is hitting hard here. There are 275,000 Chinese students in the U.S. Plans are being upended, and they're questioning their decision to choose American universities. Chinese officials accuse the Trump administration of targeting China, calling the move discrimination and saying it will further damage U.S. credibility. What isn't clear is whether there will be legal challenges, because the State Department and Homeland Security say the visas are being scrutinized for national security reasons. But a federal judge did just temporarily block the Trump administration's move to ban Harvard from enrolling international students, saying it would cause immediate damage to the university. All of this happening along with flip-flops on tariffs and the absence of any trade deals, and talks with China appear to have stalled. U.S. officials say it may now take things at the highest level to move along by China's leader Xi Jinping and President Trump. But worth noting that Xi Jinping's daughter went to Harvard. Janice Mackey-Freyer, NBC News, Beijing.
Back here in the WRAL Live Center, we are following that breaking news in Durham. Let's get right to these pictures courtesy of Sky 5 over Hillside High School. Right now, we're being told this high school is on lockdown. This here in Durham, a district spokesperson telling us that this is as a result of a carjacking that happened right across the street from the school. You see all the emergency vehicles lining the front of the school right there. We're told that students, faculty, staff, everybody is inside and safe while Durham police investigate that carjacking that happened across the street. Right now, all the activities are indoors and not allowing any students or anybody outside. We will keep monitoring this situation for any new developments from the school district and keep you posted here in the WRAL Live Center.
All right, Ken, thank you for that update. Israel has accepted a new ceasefire proposal with Hamas. It includes the release of 10 living hostages and 18 deceased hostages, as well as a 60-day truce. Hamas will agree to the plan on 3 conditions. If the U.S. can assure that negotiations over a permanent ceasefire will continue and the fighting will not resume after the 60 days, if humanitarian assistance will be carried out through UN channels, and if the Israel Defense Forces agree to pull back to the positions that they held before Israel relaunched its military operations.
Law enforcement torch runs wrap up today. They support the North Carolina Special Olympics, and the final leg of the Wake County runs took place 10 o'clock this morning. Dozens of law enforcement personnel gathered in the Carter Finley Stadium parking lot and ran all the way to the state capitol. First Lady Anna Stein met the runners there. And the fundraising efforts by local law enforcement wrap up as well tonight at NC State's Reynolds Coliseum. The North Carolina Special Olympics Summer Games will have their grand opening ceremony 6:30 tonight. More than 1,500 athletes from all across the state will be there to compete in their respective sports. WRAL's Ken Smith will serve as MC of the opening ceremony. Now, Amy Wilmoth over in the WRAL Severe Weather Center right now. Now, we are in that level 3 out of 5 severe risk, so we got some watches coming our way, probably.
That's right. This is brand new. I threw this graphic together really quick before I came on set here. This is in from the Storm Prediction Center. This area highlighted in red, likely going under a severe thunderstorm or tornado watch very soon. So it would be our southwestern communities, and I think we'll definitely have some watches issued for the rest of the area as we progress through the day. So we'll keep you posted on that. I'll let you know if a watch gets issued for parts of North Carolina. I'll let you know as soon as that happens. The severe threat today, 4 to 8 p.m. That's the timeline for the severe storms, damaging winds, large hail, isolated tornadoes. In the next half hour, I'm going to take a closer look at the tornado threat hour by hour with Futurecast. It's most of the area that's under this rare level 3 risk. We only average 3 per year for central North Carolina, and over 90%, 87% of the time we get damage reports with level 3 risk. So this is a serious situation, and we have you covered. We have multiple meteorologists that are going to be watching the radar very carefully through the day today. Right now, things are quiet. So if you have some errands to run, you want to do some things outdoors, you can do that for the next few hours. But by around 4 o'clock or so, just know that's when the storms start to move into our western counties. Hour by hour today, look at this. Our storm chances, severe weather threat, highest right during the evening commute. So it's going to be pretty tough getting home from work with the severe storms moving in right during that commute. That's right when the cold front is going to move through. So here's Futurecast. Maybe a sprinkle or two for the next couple of hours. That will be about it. 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we're noticing storms in the western part of our viewing area. They will continue to push to the east. 5 o'clock in the evening, we'll have storms, some of them severe. So that, again, right during the evening commute, fairly widespread activity at 6 o'clock. At 8 o'clock, we start to see the storms shift into our eastern counties. And then once we get to around 9 o'clock or so, we really start to see the threat diminish, and it will be quiet overnight tonight, although it's going to be breezy. Saturday, we have a severe threat too. I'll show you the map in just a moment. But in the morning, things are fine. It's going to be sunny in the morning, and then we get to the afternoon. It's hit and miss showers in the storms, so I wouldn't cancel my outdoor plans, but just know that any storms that do form tomorrow could become severe on an isolated basis with some strong winds and brief heavy downpours. But today's threat certainly higher with that level 3 risk. Saturday's Today's risk is a level 1 severe threat. So some isolated severe storms tomorrow. We're more concerned about today, especially with the timing of this right in the evening commute. A live look at our Garner Tower. We have a deck of clouds, but the sun peeking through the clouds in spots, and that's helping to destabilize our atmosphere. The warm fronts to the north of us, it is warm, it is muggy. 77 the current temperature in Raleigh with a dew point of 64, but the dew point already in the mid 70s here in Clinton. It definitely feels pretty miserable down there in Clinton and Sampson County. So we have a weather alert day today with severe storms this afternoon and this evening. And then Saturday, hit and miss storms in the afternoon and evening. Sunday, the pick day this weekend, 80 and dry. And then we're dry next week, but it's hot. We're back in the 90s by Thursday.
All right, Amy, thank you for that. Grocery price uncertainty. Inflation might be at its lowest level in 3 years, and some items might be getting cheaper, but it might not feel that way. Today on WRAL News at 4, we'll explain why and how you can still continue to save money.
And proposed Medicaid cuts that could impact you and your family. At 5:30, the message one Wake County woman has for lawmakers when it comes to considering the people behind the numbers. And signing off after 10 years at the helm of NBC Nightly News, Lester Holt signs off tonight. Colleagues look back at some of his most memorable moments.
And talk about team spirit. Forget about the gnomes. An NBA fan pays homage to his team with a creative work of art. How his creativity was rewarded. Tonight, Lester Holt anchors his final broadcast of Nightly News. He's leaving the daily grind of the evening news for a more full-time focus on Dateline.
And before he says goodbye tonight and hands off the baton to Tom Yamas, NBC's Savannah Guthrie has this tribute to Lester's time as the host of Nightly News.
Nightly News begins right now.
For 10 years, Lester Holt has helmed the ship at Nightly News. The calm in the storm.
The levees holding in New Orleans.
He's guided us through some of our darkest moments.
Did you hear the shooting?
2 times, yes.
In rooms filled with power, Lester never raised his voice.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. But won't let answers go unchallenged.
I was going to fire Comey. There's no good time to do it, by the way.
Because in your letter you said I accepted their recommendation.
Yeah, well,
you had already made the decision.
I was going to fire regardless.
A voice trusted on the biggest nights.
Good evening, everyone. I want to welcome you to the Republican presidential debate. Live coverage of election night.
And where others rush, Lester reflects.
Remember, we're in this together, and together may be the only way we find our way out of this.
But even his calm can crack when the story gets close.
My grandmother was a Houston, and there's a Houston here, and I have to call my father. It's phone calls to make.
Yes.
Here at Today, we know Lester is not afraid of a little fun or adventure.
Okay.
Slowly. Come on.
And he'll take any chance to bust out that bass. Now he'll have a little more time for his music as he steps away from the daily rhythm of Nightly News. Tonight, Lester signs off one last time.
Please take care of yourself and each other.
You know, we're going to hear that one final time tonight for sure. And following his final broadcast tonight, Lester will transition to Dateline full-time, where he will continue to be part of the NBC News family. So be sure to stay tuned tonight as Nightly News looks back on his tenure in the anchor chair. And of course, we wish him the best, and we welcome Tom Yamas right in.
Absolutely. All right, coming up for us, restoring power. A car crashes into a utility pole in southeast Raleigh, leaving hundreds of customers in the dark. How the situation is improving this afternoon.
A flawed report. The White House is standing behind Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s Make America Healthy Again report, despite non-existent sources. And here's a look at your winning NC Education lottery numbers on your screen. We'll be right back.
It's a WRAL weather alert day, and the Storm Prediction Center has increased the severe risk to a rare level 3 today.
Yeah, the big gusty winds, possible tornadoes could be our most primary threat during these evening storms on the way. Meteorologist Amy Wilmoth is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center right now with when this all could begin. Amy.
Likely going to start around 4 o'clock this afternoon in our western counties and go until 8 o'clock. And these storms will move from west to east. So our eastern counties getting them around 8 o'clock this evening. It is a rare level 3 risk. We only average about 3 per year. So it doesn't happen very often. We expect damaging winds, perhaps some large hail, tornadoes also possible. Coming up in just a bit, we'll take a closer look at the tornado threat. But this is the reason why we have the severe threat. We have a pretty strong front that moves through right in the peak heating hours of the afternoon and evening, right during the evening commute. Very bad timing. Notice how our area right now is quiet. We don't expect these to fire up until around 4 o'clock or so. One thing that we look at is something called convective available potential energy, storm energy, and it's already high. This is the current level that we have right now. So with the sun out, that's just going to increase this energy and fuel these storms as that front arrives this evening, right during the evening commute. And so I see the sunshine on a lot of our cameras. It's not something that I want to see. One of those spots is Roxborough. Roxborough, you're one of the spots also in the slightly higher tornado threat. So coming up in just a little bit, we'll take a look at the hour-by-hour tornado risk. We'll also take a look at the power outage potential that we could see later on today as well.
Yeah, we want to keep the clouds, and you want to download the new WRAL weather app and be sure you have those notifications turned on because we'll alert you to changing weather conditions and traffic issues all across our viewing area.
Happening now in the WRAL Live Center, we want to return to that situation that's happening at Hillside High School in Durham. As in the last 15 minutes, we were told that Hillside High School is on lockdown right now because of a carjacking that happened across the street. But in the last 5 minutes, we've seen some movement outside the school. It looks like some students, possibly some parents who may have shown up. Of course, law enforcement lining the area. So we're waiting on an update from the district in terms of whether or not this lockdown is still in place. But for right now, it was strictly a precautionary measure because of that carjacking that happened across the street. As soon as we get any new information about what's going on here at Hillside High School in terms of whether or not the lockdown was lifted or if it's going to be lifted anytime soon, we'll let you know here in the WRAL Live Center. But for right now, all students, staff, and faculty are safe inside that school.
All right, Ken, thanks for that. Power crews are working hard to repair a utility pole in southeast Raleigh after a crash. At the height of the outage, more than 550 customers were in the dark. That number is now just a little over 200. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey spent hours on that scene at Rock Quarry Road and shares this report.
Crews spent more than 5 hours working to restore power after a car hit a power pole here on Rock Quarry Road. You can see them working on those repairs right now. We'll take you to some video now from Drone 5 of the aftermath of that crash. The crash happened right in front of Redeeming Love Missionary Baptist Church. That driver is now in the hospital. You can see how the power pole snapped when the car hit it, and debris is scattered across the ground. At one point, more than 500 customers were without power, according to Duke Energy. Crews were able to stay parked in the right lane, out of the way of traffic. We're working to find out what caused this crash and get an update on the driver's condition. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Raleigh.
All right, breaking news right happening now at 12:30. We want to go live right now to Fayetteville, where they're about to announce the new Fayetteville police chief. Listen in.
Thank you so much. Who has served with unwavering dedication as interim chief since Chief Braden's departure at the end of March. Chief Joyce exemplifies true service. In the time of transition, he stepped forward without hesitation, answering the call with a simple but powerful, yes, I will. Leadership in law enforcement demands sacrifice, but what Chief Joyce has given during this time has gone far beyond the call of duty. And again, sir, thank you so much. I would also be remiss if I didn't recognize the vital support of his family, Megan, Peyton, and Jordan as well. He did not have to miss any softball games or other tournaments and things like that, but I know it was on his mind while he was away traveling this past weekend to Williamsburg. Thank you again for your strength, patience, and sacrifice. After an exhaustive national search and months of community input, I am proud to announce that our next police chief is Roberto E. Bryan, Jr.
Back here in the WRAL Live Center, you heard it right there during this new newscast. That's the man who's taking over for Chief Braden, who retired recently. Roberto Bryan Jr., he's currently the Fayetteville State University Police Chief, but now he's taking the helm at the city of Fayetteville as its new police chief. Of course, we'll have more reporting on this story coming up in our news starting at 4. And of course, you can always follow along on WRAL.com.
That's some big news. Thanks, Ken. Well, the Wake County Animal Center is asking for help as it approaches critical capacity. It's a problem the Animal Center has seen multiple times in recent years, in part because it can't turn away pets that are brought in. Right now, the center is caring for more than 230 dogs and nearly 200 cats, among other animals. Construction on a larger facility is in the works, but the center needs the additional kennel space now.
It's in the budget. It's on the books. You know, we're trying our best to get that happening as quickly as we can. There's just, you know, you can't just snap your fingers and a building pops up overnight.
If more pets are not adopted soon, the animals run the risk of being euthanized. You can browse the animals online. Adoption fees are being waived until June 8th. And tonight, Granville County officials will host a town hall to discuss childhood hunger and school meals. The panelists include elected officials from Granville County school leaders, and faith and community representatives. The event is hosted by School Meals for All NC. The statewide coalition believes every child deserves breakfast and lunch at no cost. The meeting will be at the Granville County Convention and Expo Center from 5 to 7:30 tonight. Well, coming up, while some stores are raising prices because of tariffs, one beloved big box store says they're not. What Costco says they did early to prepare for this.
And the original cast of a multi-award winning musical is reuniting. Why the Hamilton cast is getting back together. You can watch WRAL News live anytime on WRAL.com or the WRAL app on your streaming device. We'll bring you back this noon with that breaking news that Ken Smith was telling us about in the WRAL Live Center with a carjacking across the street from Hillside High School. That school went on lockdown.
Yeah, that lockdown has just been lifted. Monica Casey on scene for us. Monica, what do we know about this? What happened?
Yeah, we learned just moments ago that lockdown is lifted. If you take a look behind me here, you can see things have calmed down significantly than when we first got on scene. We also have Sky 5 live over this scene right now, so you can get a sense of just how much law enforcement is here. Durham police say this all started around 10:30 this morning when they responded to a drug complaint in this area. They say they believed 3 subjects had gone back inside the school and that those subjects matched the description of carjacking suspects from an incident earlier today. However, Durham police say it was determined they are not the carjacking suspects. Now, Durham County Sheriff's deputies placed this school on lockdown while the Sheriff's Office and Durham Police conducted a safety sweep here. Police say all 3 of the described suspects were located here in the school and no weapons or drugs were located. So you can see there is still a lot of movement here behind me with people coming and going into the school. But what we know right now is that the lockdown has been lifted and that those people were not associated with a carjacking earlier in this area today. I'll send it back to you all in studio.
All right, Monica, thanks for that update. Yeah, and with all the movement there, you get the sense that everything's kind of calmed down. Yeah, no doubt. Softening the blow, how Costco is trying to build a cushion for its customers.
And anniversary performance. The original cast of Hamilton celebrates its 10th year with a special reunion. Costco hopes to soften the blow of tariffs on its customers. The membership store says it's trying to lower prices where possible while leaning on its Kirkland brand. Costco also plans to reroute shipments. They say raising prices would be a last resort, unlike Walmart, which said it would have to start hiking prices this month. Costco says it stocked up early on some summer items like patio furniture and is bringing in more U.S.-made goods such as mattresses and pillows. And the original cast of multi-award-winning musical Hamilton is reuniting. 24 members of the hit musical will perform at the Tony Awards next week. The reunion marks 10 years since Hamilton took Broadway by storm. Hamilton returns to the DPAC May 20th through June 14th. Tickets go on sale this fall. Prices range from $38 to $240 per person.
We are certainly hoping this afternoon that we keep some cloud cover out there to keep the volatility down. But already, Amy Wilmington, the WRAL Severe Weather Center, tracking these watches that are likely coming.
Yeah, I think it's our southwestern counties. It'll go under the watch first, and then it will likely be extended to the rest of the viewing area. And that's coming soon. We'll let you know as soon as that happens. We still have a ways to go before the storms move into our area. They'll start to move into our western counties first, starting around 4 o'clock this afternoon, and then they'll be in our eastern counties around 8 o'clock this evening. Damaging winds, large hail, isolated tornadoes, all possible. It is a rare level 3 risk out of 5 for most of the viewing area today. So all of the triangle and points to the south, we have the threat for severe weather, and this is coming right during the evening commute. This is just in. I just saw that, a little tornado warning up there, well to the north and west of us, but just a sign that this is starting to get more severe as it moves into an environment that's pretty unstable. We're seeing the sunshine out there. That's helping to warm temperatures. That will help to feed these storms. The visible satellite imagery, wherever you see those dark spots, that's where we're seeing the sunshine, and we're seeing more and more of that in the western part of our viewing area especially. Take a look at the tornado risk specifically today. It is highest from around the triangle and points to the north. There's still the risk in our southern counties. It's a little bit lower, and we have a tool that we can use, the Tornado Potential Futurecast tool, to see when this could all start to happen. So right now, the tornado potential is very low for our area, but watch what happens as that front arrives around 4 o'clock in our western counties. We start to see some moderate tornado potential, especially from the triangle and points to the north. You start to see these deeper shades of green and some yellows around 5 o'clock this evening. So again, right during the evening commute in the northern part of our viewing area. I know our northeastern counties from Rocky Mount points to the north, they have been hit hard this spring with severe weather. You need to be aware that there is that threat for tornadoes later on this evening as the storms approach your area. 8 o'clock in the evening, the threat starts to move into eastern North Carolina, and we should be done with the tornado threat around 9, 10 o'clock tonight. We're also going to have some very strong winds with these, and we've had so much rain as of late. I do think we'll have some power outages. This might be a little underdone, but some isolated power outages perhaps across the viewing area if trees start to come down with those strong winds that will likely come with those storms later on today. And then Saturday, we have a level 1 risk for severe storms. The first half of the day is fine. It's the second half of the day that we have a 40% chance for storms with a level 1 risk for the entire area Saturday. So Saturday will be unsettled. I don't think it will be as bad as what we will likely get right during the evening commute today. This is a live look at RDU. The sun shining, peeking through some of those clouds there at the airport. If you have a flight out this evening, just make sure you are watching the delays that are likely going to start happening later on today. Temperatures are in the 70s across the area. We have a mix of sun and clouds. It's very muggy as well. So again, those warmer temperatures fueling those storms today. We have some storms possible tomorrow afternoon. The second half of the weekend is dry with a high of 80. So we just need to get to Sunday.
Amy, thanks for that. We'll be waiting until Sunday.
Yeah.
But how about this here? Plundering piglets. A sow and her herd of pigs tore up several yards. Now the homeowners want to know who's going to foot the bill for all this.
Is it going to be the pig?
We wrap things up now with a look at a few of the headlines we're following for you today. Today's a WRAL Weather Alert Day. Parts of our area are under a level 3 out of 5 risk for severe weather. Strong wind, hail, and an isolated tornado are all possible tonight. You can plan ahead for severe weather with the WRAL Weather app. It allows you to watch radar in real time to see when storms are in your area. Turn on the alerts to get notified about severe weather in your location. It is free to download.
And new at noon, we're hearing from a child care center for the first time after one of their employees was charged with biting a 2-year-old. Deputies arrested 31-year-old Kayla Drakeford-Willia yesterday. She worked at Creative Kids Academy. They were called to the child care academy last week for a report of child abuse. The child care center says she has been fired.
It's a new day for the NC Department of Motor Vehicles. We are hearing from the new commissioner for the first time. Paul Tyne says his focus is to create a premier customer service organization, both large scale, like changing systems and software that could take years to implement, but also smaller scale fixes as well, like having faster scanning machines that could make a big improvement on those wait times.
Artwork meets lawn care. The result, a once-in-a-lifetime experience. An Oklahoma City Thunder mega fan was thrown into the spotlight after he mowed and painted his lawn in honor of the Thunder. He loves watching the team and said he did it to show his team spirit. A viewer saw his story and invited him to witness the excitement in his suite. And get this, it was Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals. Lloyd cheered with the crowd as the Thunder beat the Minnesota Timberwolves, securing their spot in the NBA Finals. Game 1 of the championship is next Thursday. Wow.
Yeah, it's a little different yard story here. People in a California neighborhood want to know who owns a herd of pigs responsible for tearing up their yards. A homeowner says he looked out his window and couldn't believe his eyes, and he tried to tell his neighbors the damage was the work of a sow and her piglets, but no one believed him until, that is, a neighbor's surveillance camera showed the culprits right there, foraging for food, rooting around, being pigs. People are concerned, though, the pigs might return, and others want to know who's going to pay for the damage to their lawn.
I want to find out where they came from and make sure it doesn't happen again. And if they're wild, somebody's going to have to take care of them.
Oh, he looks right in the camera and says, take care of them. What do you think he's talking about, bacon?
Listen, I don't know. Maybe. All right, our pet of the day comes to us from the SPCA of Wake County. Auntie Anne is a 9-year-old spayed female dog weighing 44 pounds. She may be a senior, but she's playful and energetic. Auntie Anne prefers a home where her people are around most of the day, as she can get nervous when she's alone. Her adoption fee is $120, but adoptions for adult dogs are half off through Sunday. So Auntie Anne can go home with you for $60 right now. Contact the SPCA of Wake County at the number on your screen.
I wonder if she likes pretzels.
Pretzels, I know.
Yeah. The soccer tournament, or TST, is back for its third year in Cary. It starts next week. There's an expanded women's field, 16 teams, and $1 million prize for each of the men's and women's 7-on-7 squads. 20-year NBA veteran TST investor Chris Paul says it's always a good time for families and soccer fans.
It's very festival style, and this year we'll have 134 matches, 64 teams, and it's nothing like seeing those teams score that last goal to know that they won $1 million.
Wow.
That's right. TST runs June 4th through the 9th at Wake Med Soccer Park in Cary. Grocery woes for your wallet. Peak prices for peak grilling season coming up at 4 o'clock on your news. The items that are up and those that are offsetting the sticker shock.
Yeah, something we're also tracking very closely, the weather. We are under a level 3 threat. Our meteorologists are working hard to get all of the information for you. They'll have it coming up at 4. NBC News Daily is next on WRAL, your next local news update in 30 minutes.
You can always get breaking news updates anytime with our WRAL News app. Have a great day. Stay safe.
Stay safe with the latest WRAL Weather Alert Day info. Get up to the minute weather and traffic conditions when you get in your car. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM, in Durham 96.5 FM, and everywhere on 101.5 HD3.